Hey Rich, how's it going? It's me, Derek, aka Mr. Cinema Junkie. You've touched on a subject that's like very near and dear to my heart. I have been a fan, PHAN, since '79, and I remember when the first sequel came out, when Part 2 finally hit. I was like the fifth person in line on opening day, and after that, it's just I couldn't get enough of the movies. Now, Part 4, some people feel that it was closed. It gave them the closure they were looking for. I don't see that. Part 4 was left very open. I mean, there was no finality to it. Uh, it ended on a note of them hunting down the tall man, and that was it. That was the note it ended on. And I too have read and heard these rumors about a Part 5 or a remake happening. When I heard a remake would happen before a Part 5 might happen, I really didn't know how to feel about that. I'm not one of these advocates who's like totally against remakes. I think it would be interesting to see what they would do with Phantasm, but I would much rather see the series come to a close first, and then start messing with it, start toying around with the story a little bit. Um, Use some current special effects, I guess. Although it really doesn't need that, not to me. Um, I don't think it was ever lacking as far as special effects were concerned. In fact, for its time, in my opinion, I think it did very well effects-wise. Simple tricks, finger through the bottom of the board kind of stuff. Uh, Backwards film running for the sphere. They threw the ball from off camera and then just ran the film backwards to make it look like it was flying towards them. To me, that was effective. So, what would I rather see? I'd rather see a Part 5. I'd much rather see a Part 5 while they have the chance. Because what I would hate to see happen more than anything, even more than seeing a remake before a Part 5 happening, what I would hate to see is, Angus Scrimm leaving us, and then they decide to do a Part 5, and it just becomes a big collection of outtakes from previous movies. Kind of like they did with Part 4. They used a lot of stuff that they didn't use in Part 1 and re-edited it into the movie. It was a wash for me. It worked and didn't work in some instances. The whole tree hanging scene I could have done without. Where the tall man was hanging in the tree, goes, "Cut me down, boy." It was interesting to see that. But that would have been cool, like on an extras reel, like on the MGM release of Phantasm had the outtakes of the the ice cream fight and the bodies in the caskets and stuff like that. That would have been interesting to see there, like an alternate ending of sorts or whatever. But uh, that was one of the things that I was kind of like, okay, I can see they're on a tight budget. I can see they're really trying to utilize and use what they have already instead of having to shoot like new scenes. There were some scenes like where Reggie, Mike, and Jody are hanging out in the car and they're jamming out and playing the guitar and they're all just hanging out. Now, I don't know if that was supposed to be an image of what they wished would have happened or where they should have been rather than where they were at, or it was supposed to be a memory. But if there's no way it could have been a memory because all this stuff happened when Michael was like 13, so they never grew up together. You know what I mean? So little scenes like that, got a little, you could see where the budget got real tight. Some of the tricks didn't play out very well. Like they'd film the ball and Reggie, and then the camera would follow Reggie and then come back, and then Jody would be there, or he would be turned into the ball again. Kind of cheap shotty, you know. But I would still rather see them make that kind of an attempt for a part 5 than for them to just say, oh, well, look, we don't have Angus with us anymore, but we need Tall Man. We need the Tall Man in there. So, look, I've got all this footage we didn't use from the other however many movies. Let's just throw that in there, and we'll have the Tall Man back again. I don't want to see that. So, my vote is definitely for a part 5 rather than a remake. Sure, a remake down the road. Why not? You know, everyone else is being remade and retouched up. I'd be interested to see who they get to play the Tall Man, or if they, you know, what would they do? Would they use like a CGI of the Tall Man, or, you know, something along those lines? But I'd be interested to see it, but I'm not in any rush to see it. I'd rather see a part 5 and have it be what either brings us closure or brings us, you know, maybe the Tall Man never dies. You know, he's a dimension jumper, so maybe he never dies. He's immortal, but at least part 5 would establish that. You know, he's universal or something. And a better ending than the Matrix had, if anything. You know what I mean? Also, I know you didn't ask, but here's something I've been wanting for a long time now, and I think it's high time that it come to light. With all the advances that we've made in technology, with all the things I've seen as far as home consoles and stuff, why isn't there a Phantasm video game? Survival horror is I mean, that movie was geared for a survival horror game like Resident Evil. Think about it, man. I've seen people play online. If you look up in YouTube, there's video of people who have used Doom, and they put the Phantasm theme in the Doom game. So you're going through a mausoleum with a shotgun, and the spheres show up, the Tall Man shows up. It is really cool, but not as cool as it could be. Picture like the mansion and stuff from Resident Evil, from the revamped Resident Evil, and then take that imagery and that artwork and now turn it into a mausoleum instead. And the dwarfs running through the hallways and the spheres chasing you down. Not so many cuts of the movie in there, but an actual deal where you're the person, you're the hero of the game, and you can go to the places that were in all the movies, like Morningside, Paragord, all those places, and you can play like co-op, I guess. I don't know if online would work for something like that, but definitely, I mean, everything that's in the movie you see in a lot of the games nowadays, and with the cult following that Phantasm has, I don't see why there hasn't been a video game yet. Something phenomenal on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, you know, like a first-person shooter type of game. I think that'd be pretty badass. What do you think? Well, that's my long-winded opinion on the subject, and thanks for bringing that up. That's a really good question. I hope other people answer right away. Be talking to y'all soon.